Hi, welcome to our science class. Are you ready to learn something new today? Today, we'll be continuing our discussion about weather and changes in weather. I am Miss Jessica Luis O. Galutera, your Science 7 teacher. On the last video, we found out that weather is a general condition of the atmosphere on a certain area over a specified period of time. Temperature, pressure, relative humidity, clouds, and precipitation help indicate the weather for the day. Air can move whether vertically up and down, which we call convection or air currents. When it is moving horizontally, we define it as wind. Do you also remember the two types of breeze? We have the sea breeze and land breeze. As their name implies, it describes where the air is moving and towards what direction. As we continue to find out the different atmospheric conditions, here are some guide questions for us to answer at the end of the discussion. First, how does energy coming from the sun affect monsoons? 2. How does the Earth's movement affect wind patterns? And lastly, number 3, what does understanding of different global wind systems benefit people around the world? Being in a tropical country, we experience very hot summer days. I know you feel that too. That's why yearning for the rainy days is a total rejoice for us. The difference in the season and wind patterns is attributed to monsoons. But didn't you know that without the heat from the sun, there won't be no monsoons? The uneven heating of the Earth's surface modifies the general circulation of air and changes the wind direction over land and water from season to season. The uneven heating of the Earth's surface results to monsoons. The monsoons are winds that blow and whose direction change from season to season. The monsoon effect is the seasonal change in wind direction. That's why during summer, the wind moves from the oceans towards the land, and during winter, the wind moves from the land towards the oceans. Monsoons are global winds that blow steadily from specific direction over long distances. In the Philippines, we also experience this monsoon effect all throughout the year. And can you guess what are these called? The monsoon system we have is called the Amihan and Habagat. The hanging Amihan is called the northeast monsoon. It is characterized by moderate temperatures with little or no rainfall and a prevailing wind from the east. The northeast monsoon features a cool and dry air that originates in a vast anticyclone. What is anticyclone? An anticyclone is a large-scale circulation of winds around a central region of high atmospheric pressure, clockwise moving in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. Now going back, these anticyclones form over Siberia, Mongolia, and northern China during each northern winter. The hanging Amihan or the northeast monsoon also causes cloud development and some rainfall at the eastern sections of our country. When you're feeling a little chilly and cold all throughout the day during the months of November to March of each year, expect that we are experiencing the hanging Amihan. Thus, we enjoy a cold Christmas season here in the Philippines. The other monsoon wind may be the one that we are experiencing this month. Have you noticed that most of the days, a lot of heavy rainfall occurs in the different parts of the country? You might hear on the news that there are flash floods and even landslides. When this monsoon system occurs, we know that rainy days are coming. This is called the southwest monsoon or locally called as hanging habagat. The seasonal winds are winds blowing from the southwest direction. This is characterized by hot and humid weather with frequent heavy rainfall and a prevailing wind from the west. The hanging habagat causes extensive cloud development and rainfall at the western sections of the country. This occurs during the months of June to October each year. Before you go out of the house on the days of these months, make sure to bring an umbrella or rain protective gears. The Earth's rotation has a great impact on the wind direction. As we know, wind does not move in a straight line because of the Earth's rotation. The motion of the wind follows a curved path. This effect of the Earth's rotation on wind movement is called the Coriolis effect. During rotation, the Earth moves from west to east or in a counterclockwise manner. Thus, winds moving towards the equator curves to the west. The green arrows on the picture illustrate this movement, while winds moving away from the equator curves to the east. This is represented by the red arrows on the picture. Beside from the monsoon and Coriolis effect, there are many global wind systems that exist. The following discussion, we will talk about the different winds and pressure belts. First, we have the doldrums. The doldrums is a belt of low pressure found at the equator. It is the area of cloudiness that encircles the Earth in the regions of the equator. As warm air over equatorial areas rises, the air in the surroundings will move in. Air from north of the equator and south of the equator will then meet or converge at the place where warm air is rising. That's why doldrums is also known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. ITCZ is characterized by weak and calm winds. The Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ occurs only in the countries near the equator because these places receive direct rays from the sun. This is a natural phenomenon that starts during the summer months in the northern hemisphere when the Asian continent becomes warmer than the surrounding seas. The other winds and pressure belts can be seen in the picture on the right. Easterlies are winds coming from the east passing through the Pacific Ocean, bringing warm and humid weather. The polar easterlies are dry, cold prevailing winds that blow around the high-pressure areas of the poles. Next, we have the trade winds. Trade winds are persistent winds that blow westward and towards the equator from the subtropical high-pressure belts towards the ITCZ. The westerlies are the belt of prevailing westerly winds in the mid-latitudes of the northern and southern hemispheres. Lastly, we have the horse latitudes. They are located at about 35 degrees north and south latitudes. These areas are characterized by high pressure and gentle winds. The air in here is cooler than in the doldrums, but less in air pressure compared to it. Did you know that most of the world's desert is situated in this region? Learning all of these global wind systems and pressure belts sure took us on a whirlwind of information. But knowledge of the direction of global winds is important in the key success and safety of ocean travels. Sailors and seamen have to keep track of the wind direction as they travel. In conclusion, here are the takeaways of this video that you should keep in mind. First, monsoons are winds that blow and whose direction change from season to season. Locally, these monsoon winds are called hanging amihan and hanging habagat. Next, we learned that wind does not move in straight lines but in curved path because of the Earth's rotation. This is called the Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect causes the air to ascend and descend from areas of high pressure to low pressure. Lastly, global winds are the general patterns of wind circulation in the troposphere. Knowing this is important for the key success and safety of ocean travels. Thank you for watching! If you want to know more about the different atmospheric phenomena, tune in to the next chapters of my video discussions.